Now, I know this is going to sound contradictory of me after being quite hard on the game during Boss Analysis 30, but to give Yoshi's Story credit, at least it tried to do something different. It wasn't the premise I didn't care for, it was the execution. That's more than I can say for most of the other Yoshi games that have been released since. The first game was revolutionary at the time, and I enjoyed the DS game a lot as well. I thought the babies giving you new abilities was a great concept. But it's been the same formula over and over again. I'm sick of the games now. Yoshi's Woolly World bored me to tears and actually depressed me a little. It made me wonder if I never liked the older games either, which if you ask me, is the worst thing a sequel can do to you. A prime example of the typical, charmless, modern 2D Nintendo platformer, and I have zero interest in Crafted World. And on a similar topic, I'm the same with the modern Kirby games. I'd love to say the first Kirby games I played were objectively the best and I'm not being nostalgia blinded, but I honestly don't know. Out of all the Nintendo series, I think Kirby is failing to reach its full potential the most. So much more could be done with the copying system and the games could be spectacular, even better than my favourites, Kirby Adventure, Kirby's Dream Course and Kirby Superstar, but I've long given up hope on them pushing the boat with the little pink bastard. They've fallen into the same trap as the new Super Mario Bros. Games have. When I'm playing Kirby Triple Deluxe, I've just gone through the motions. I've pretty much seen all it has to offer before. There's nothing new to discover or meaty gameplay to keep me occupied. You know what my dream Kirby game would be? Imagine something like Milky Way Wishes from Kirby Superstar, but on a much grander scale. 150 to 200 different abilities, each one as intricate as the abilities in Superstar. Now imagine a huge Mario World style map filled with alternate routes and levels hidden to discover, with all the many deluxe ability statues stashed everywhere, giving you further incentive to explore the entire map, a bit like the World of Light from Smash Ultimate actually. Also, I'd like the game to be challenging. I don't want to steamroll everything with no effort. I want to think and work out which ability would be best for each situation. I know, Kirby games are usually made to be easy on purpose, but this is my dream Kirby game. I'm being 100% selfish here. Besides, a selection of difficulty options would be a straightforward solution to please everyone. Oh, and finally, bosses should drop their ability statues of themselves, Mega Man style. I want a Wispy Woods ability, please. Not that it's going to matter in the end, I'm just going to find the quickest route to the final boss without collecting any statues at all. I'm drooling at the mere prospect of such a game. It's what I expected future Kirbys to eventually become when I played Kirby's Adventure as a youth all those years ago, which incidentally did push the NES to its limits, one of the reasons I adore it so much, but the closest we ever get to it is Castlevania Araya / Dawn of Sorrow. Oh, I can dream. But having said all that, there is one Nintendo game that I think tried too hard, which I know is a very odd thing to say, but hear me out. My problem with Fire Emblem Awakening was that the map design was trash. It just throws a bunch of enemies on the map with not much thought at all. The easiest way to beat the game is to simply solo it with Robin with some help from Morgan and Olivia. With Fates, specifically Conquest, they tried their damnedest to rectify these problems, but they went too far in the other direction. Now the weapons don't break. They thought it'd be a good idea to add drawbacks to anything stronger than iron to balance them out. But it only made me never want to use them. Losing strength every time I attack with a silver weapon, you're having a laugh. And then there's the maps, like the Ninja Rape Cave, the Kitsune bullshit map, ugh, the Windy Village and the final battle, don't even get me started on that, the AC rivals of the series as I call it. I appreciate the effort to create interesting gimmicks, but most of them simply weren't fun to play, and I wanted to finish them off as soon as possible. Although for the record, I thought Conquest Chapter 10 was incredible. As for Azura, I'm sorry, wait no I'm not, but I couldn't stand that bitch. And it's not just because I found her personality annoying or her constant exposition tedious, but I even hated her for gameplay reasons. Allowing another unit to move again was more useful than it's ever been before, but that meant you had to deploy her in order to utilise this ability. But her HP is so bad, she's going to get killed by almost everything if she's attacked just once. Adding less evasion than in previous games, and an RNG system so devilish it would make Pokemon envious, and you have one heck of a stressful character and game to play. And I hated hearing that poxy song of hers sneak its way into every music in the game, You are the ocean's great waves. Oh, excuse me while I throw myself off this cliff and go to a new world. Do me a favour and say Valor already, you daft cow. Write it down or something. Would that have the same effect? I don't know. Oh crap! I said it! Oh no! Oh, I'm okay. Well, with the new game on the horizon, let's hope this is the one to finally get everything right. Although I have to say, the school setting does concern me, because it's just an excuse to use all this stupid fucking cliches that I hate so much. High school cliches, you know the type, the anime cliches that we've seen in all these other games, like the hot spring shite, as I always called it, from Fate. I hate that crap. I do not want to see that in my Fire Emblem, okay? My favourite mainline Pokemon games are Platinum, Heart Gold / Soul Silver, and Black 2 / White 2. Even the presence of Cynthia isn't enough to spoil them, and that's all I have to say about that. Fighting games, fighting games, fighting games. Oh, is there any genre that frustrates me as much as these do? I want to enjoy them to the fullest. I can certainly see why others like them, but I just can't be bothered learning endless complex input commands, only to have them fail when I swear I did them right in the heat of battle, then get pissed off about it. And even when you do master the controls, then you then have to learn when to time your attacks, when to keep away, when to block, predict what the other player is going to do. Also, you can get a little bit good at the game and slowly climb your way up the ladder until you're halfway decent enough to have some fun. It's all too much work when I could just play something else immediately and have a fun time with that. I get a lot more enjoyment out of watching other people, like Mr. G-Star321, play them than attempt to play them myself. I often wish I could just install the knowledge Matrix style and open up a whole new world of new games to play, but I'm just living in a fantasy world now. Perhaps what puts me off most about them is the blocking. See, even though each genre plays differently, you do learn skills across all of them that could be applied everywhere else. But fighting games are about the only ones that have blocking, and as such, I've never really learnt how to do it properly or how to get around it when my opponent's at it. From a logical point of view, it also pisses me off. How the heck does holding up an arm stop all these crazy attacks from inflicting as much damage? Or get this, in Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, where you can block a sword with your arm, blood goes flying, but it still barely does anything? Oh, it gets me so riled up. People don't think, oh, got to get the new Guilty Gear, it's filled with hot blistering blocking action. You don't look at the back of a fighting game box and read, block your opponents into submission, over 10 ways to render opposing attacks obsolete, do you? For me, blocking sucks out the fun I could have had and ultimately makes me give up on these games. I understand it's probably a vital part of the gameplay and I'm probably talking out of my arse here, but I can't help getting frustrated by it. About the only fighting game I can play, if it even counts, is Super Smash Bros. And even there, the blocking can drive me mental sometimes. I like to think I'm good at the games. I hope. I don't know. Maybe you want to give me a fight and judge for yourself? I'll take on all challenges. Unless you do nothing but stay by the edge and shoot out projectiles, then you can piss off. Also, oh fuck me. Also, I'm gonna stop laughing now.